Hello Facebook Live, hello people watching the replay. If you can, do me a favor, leave me a comment so I know who I'm working with here. Like, who pays attention to these videos? Why do I make them? Because that's what today's topic is what is my why? I've been doing these kind of on my personal Facebook as well as sharing as much of it on my Shantastic Shine page as possible because my why is for all of you. So people think I do this for attention. They're like, why do you get on Facebook Live? Why do you learn about crystals? Why do you want to store? And I've asked myself for a long time, like, what is my why? And that's a question Silo asks me all the time too, when I'm like trying to figure out why I put myself through a project that's really extra stressful, when I'm having anxiety over something. I try to go back and focus on what is my why for doing anything. So yesterday I released a video on a meditation. It was a meditation for connecting with spirit in a deeper way. And I realized that it's actually one of the first meditations I've posted. Usually I let all the meditation work to my partner Silamon, who is awesome with meditations. But I've been really starting to work on my own. We collabed on a couple of CDs and I started asking myself like why I had never posted them. And I'd been waiting for some really good topics, and I realized I was being kind of a perfectionist on them. But anyway, so I released this video on how to connect with your spirits, your spirit guides, past loved ones, whatever kind of spirit it is that you want to connect with. Hi guys, I see you watching. Thanks for leaving me comments and waving and letting me know you're here. That means so much to me because, again, you guys are my why. So people have asked me for connections to spirit meditation for a while. I shared it and then like nobody looked at it at first and probably still haven't even seen it. And I realized like that's Facebook, whatever. You can go find it on my page. You can find it on Shantastic Shine. But in this meditation, I walk you through creating a safe space so that you can connect with your spirit in a different way. And for me, for a long time, connecting with spirit was to connect with my family, my loved ones, the people that I had loved and lost. Because those that know my journey and follow my journey or know me personally know that I lost both my parents and many loved ones that inspired me and were supposed to be able to be there for me to help me figure out this thing called life that we're all experiencing. And through that experience, it led me through a lot of hardship, a lot of trauma, a lot of anger. I was like the angry emo kid, you know, in the MySpace days, being very just frustrated with life. So my why then was so that I could connect with spirit in a different way and connect with people that hadn't been there for me in a long time. Well, I've lived life a little while and I'm still considering myself very young in this path, but people of all ages and walks of life come to me asking me these questions on how I connect with spirit and why I do what I do. I get the question all the time, why do you do what you do? And I'm inspired to share with you that I do what I do because of all of you, but one of my Shannon's rules to live by is to be who you needed when you were younger. So I mentioned that I lost both of my parents growing up, and I had a lot of role models. Don't get me wrong, there are so many people in life that have lit me up and cheered me on. But you know, when you lose somebody that you love that was one of your main cheerleaders, or you are even conditioned to thinking, like, I didn't get to know my mom very well. She died at 32. And I was only 6, so I didn't get to know her and know how she would cheer me on as an adult. So for me, it became a part of connecting with spirit. Sorry, you guys might hear the bus going by. Hi, kids. But the thing was, like, be who you needed when you were younger. Who did you need? Did you need somebody cheering you on? Then go out there and be a cheerleader for other people. Did you need somebody to listen to your story and to hear you out? Then be a good listener. Did you need somebody to remind you that, you know, even if your art seems terrible to you, what is art but through the eye of the beholder? Like, to whoever, your art might be the most beautiful, perfect thing, but for you as the artist, you're always going to see a work of art in progress. So one of my whys is to be who I needed when I was younger, but not just when I was younger, be who you need now. You're your best teacher, and your why should be, why do you want to wake up each day? Why do you do anything that you do? Is it to take care of your kids? Well, that's great. Is it to feel better about yourself? Well, that's good too. But figure out what your why is for doing anything that you do. One of my other whys was because I didn't have my parents. This is a revelation that I've had. I actually had it by redoing this meditation that I shared yesterday. If you guys want to connect with your spirit and figure out what your why was, through the meditation, we create this safe space, and you can allow your guides, your spirit, your ancestors to come speak with you in your dream time or in your meditation time and just talk out, like, whatever it is you need to talk out with them. For me, last night, apparently, it was my why. I made the meditation yesterday. I didn't even sit down and do the meditation. It was just fresh in my mind, and I created that space in my dream time. And here in my dream, I'm actually meditating unknowingly, and my mom walks by, and I look at her, and I'm like, what are you here for? She's like, what do you mean? I'm here because you asked me what your why was. And I'm like, okay, so you're part of my why. Of course, I want to make you proud, even though you're not in the in the physical form. She's like, it's more than that, sweetheart. What didn't I do that you wish you could do? And I was like, well, you didn't get to live, first of all. So part of my why is I want to live. I want to feel life. Sorry, I picked like the brightest, sunniest spot. I guess that's why I'm Shannon Shine here. But so I realized that part of it is that I want to live. So then she leaves, and through the dream, my grandma comes in, and she tells me some things, and we have a talk, and she's like, I'm part of your why. What did I leave behind? I was like, well, you left behind a legacy of memory. She's like, but did I? They're coming through you, and they come through your loved ones. They come through your family. And that's where that essence of, like, be the parts of the people that you honor so much through grief and through loss, and the people that you've lost and loved so much, be the parts of them that you do want to live on, and that's how their legacy lives on. So for me, part of why I do what I do, part of why I show up here for all of you every day, even though I get nervous and I'm not perfect, and I know there's so many of you that want to be able to go and be your authentic selves, but you're so scared that you have to be perfect, or you have to be this very specific way before you can show up in your authentic self. But you don't have to be. You show up a little bit as your authentic self each time, and that's how you build your legacy. That's how you build how you want people to remember you by. My parents, again, they both left me before they hit 40, and they didn't have a lot to show for it. They had me, they had my brother, and they have the memories that their family has. Well, for me, it has pushed me and made me a better person because I'm going to show up. I'm going to share my stories with you because I wish I could learn from their stories. And if I can help one person by sharing my story, by sharing my experience, by sharing anything I've learned, then that's great. I'm not trying to program another person into thinking exactly like me, but if I can share my story and what I learned from it, you can learn from my mistake or my journey and inspire yourself in a different way. That's my why. That's why I show up. I could die tomorrow, and how are you going to remember me? Well, hopefully you remember me as somebody that showed up, shined on, and shared their experience. And you can go back and tune into that. And my legacy will live on for as long as the internet does, because somebody somewhere hopefully will keep sharing that. And it's not about the attention. It's about, I want to be for others what I wish I had. I wish I would have had access to the internet in a way that I could watch inspirational people. I could watch motivational people and realize that they're just normal people that aren't scared to share themselves. Philosophers and people like that, people that we idolize, they never expected to be idolized. They didn't want to be worshipped. They just wanted to share their knowledge and the things that they learned through their life experience, and they dedicated their life to with others, and they documented it. They shared it with anybody that would be willing to listen, whether or not they sounded crazy. And for a long time, I thought I sounded crazy talking about spirit, talking about angels, talking about my life experiences with others, because there's a society out there that wants to make you think that that's crazy because it's how we evolve. We evolve when we talk to each other. Part of the reason certain religions think that phones and the internet are terrible is because it gives us the ability to see things from another perspective. I'm hoping that by listening and watching this, you're connecting and it's starting to give you a different perspective, and question yourself, like, why do you do what you do? Life doesn't have to be fun. It doesn't always have to be for the fun of it. Sometimes I do things that really aren't fun because my why is so important to me. Why am I serving this person? Why do I put time here, there, and where? And value your time, because something I learned really young is time is limited. We don't know how long we're going to be here. So I want you to go out and live your life. And the reason I try to be everybody's personal cheerleader is because you deserve it. There's not enough people out there telling other people that you are awesome and you have a life to live and you should be living it. I want to know what your why is. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your why is. If your why changes, that's okay. That's part of life. Life's going to change. Your why is going to change. I didn't realize that my why was because I didn't know how long I was going to live. I just thought I really wanted to inspire others. And it took me doing that download, that spiritual intake into my life, and seeing my ancestors literally in my dream time coming to me and be like, your why is not only for all of us, but so that you can inspire the next generation, in the next one, in the next one, and show up and let that be your why, or figure out what your why is. I don't want to tell you what your why is, but I do want to hear about it. So leave me a comment, because you guys are why I do what I do. I am so grateful. I've had so many people reach out this week and say that I inspired them, and it just filled my heart. And I was like, wow, I wasn't looking for that validation, but it felt good. I will say it feels good to know that people are listening. Even if you guys don't feel guided to like or comment, that's fine. I know someone out there is listening. I can see that there's some viewers. There are a couple comments, so thank you. Thank you from wherever and whenever you're watching. If you're just jumping in at the end, I hope you rewatch this whole video, because you guys are my why. And I hope that you wake up and shine on and figure out what your why is too. If you want to find out more about me, you can do so at shantasticshine.com. I have Shantastic Shine on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm all over the internet because I'm trying to build a legacy, and I want to see your legacy. I want to know your why. Comment it. Bye.